South Carolina debate is now in the rear view. Candidates lean into the primary this weekend and Super Tuesday next week.
It's all happening fast. Here to discuss what the Buttigieg camp thinks about his performance last night is surrogate for the campaign and friend of the show, Jennifer Holdsworth. She joins us now via Skype. Great to see you, Jen.
Good to see you too.
Yeah.
All right. So what did you think of that debate last night? I mean, we thought it was kind of a mess overall, but how did you think that your guy did?
He did great, and he has the flu right now. So considering how sick he is, it was pretty stunning. I think
he hasn't been to China recently, right?
I was going to say, I hope he hasn't shook hands with anybody from Wuhan, but.
No, he hasn't. Although I'm sure he's shaken about, somewhere around 10 million hands in the last, 2 days.
Right.
But yeah, no, he was quite sick. So all things considered, I think he won the debate, even considering how sick he was. But no, the debate itself was a little bit of a mess. I think the format was a little frustrating. There was a lot of talking over each other and, people being scolded and then other people being, allowed to run over. So I think, there were some issues with the format. But but all in all, I do think that a lot of the candidates were able to get their time in, give their final arguments before South Carolina and before Super Tuesday.
That is one I wanted to ask you about. I was like, were you frustrated by that? The fact that they were like scolding Pete for talking just as much as everybody else, and then Gayle King, who is a friend of the Obama family, is like lauding Vice President Biden. It just seemed a bit strange from a moderating perspective.
I think that there were some issues, but I think that they tried their best. I know that I'm pretty sure, you could check me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this was the first time that she had moderated a debate. So, I think that it's a very hard thing to do, and she tried her best.
Certainly.
Yeah, indeed. So what are you thinking about South Carolina? Set expectations there. What do you think would be a good performance?
Well, look, I think a good performance is what the voters decide it is. Conventional wisdom is that Vice President Biden is going to win. One poll had him winning overwhelmingly, and that's not surprising. He has spent, years, dedicated to racial and social justice, has, spent a great deal of time in the state. It looks like Senator Sanders is doing really well. And it looks like Tom Steyer is doing really well. These are polls, so we don't know exactly what the outcome is going to be. But, Steyer has been able to spend just gobs and gobs and gobs of money on advertising in the state for, months and months and months now. So it's not surprising that his name ID is higher. But of the, relatively unknown candidates, a year ago, nobody knew who Mayor Pete was. He's doing great. The last poll I saw, he was in double digits. He's really bringing his message to the state. Congressman Clyburn's grandson is one of Mayor Pete's top staffers in the state and has been making a really great case for the mayor up and down. Just Sunday morning, you saw the mayor participate in a very emotional church service. One of the survivors of the AME shooting endorsed the mayor, and he talked about that from a very heartfelt place during a church service. So I think this is where you see the mayor shine. His Douglas plan is resonating, when he discusses it with the Black community. And the more people that get to know him, the more people that want to support him for the presidency.
Let me ask you this, Jennifer. Let's move past South Carolina, because I think that it's, it could be a bit of a wash there. What are the best states for the Buttigieg campaign in Super Tuesday? I know Northern Virginia is a particularly hot spot. You said you're going to be watching the debates from Virginia. Where else are the strong areas for Mayor Pete? I saw a decent poll for him down in Texas. What do you think?
Yeah, so I think that there's a great deal of interest in the mayor, especially because of his strong performances in the debates and in the town halls. Like you said, Virginia, there's been a lot of organizing there, a huge grassroots groundswell. Just this weekend, we saw more than 10,000 people RSVP for a town hall that the mayor was having at a local high school here, and the fire marshal had to actually cut off the number of people that were allowed onto the field. We saw 8,500 people show up to a rally in Colorado. We've had huge groundswell of support in Alabama, in Texas. So I think that you're going to see the mayor be competitive in a lot of places. And then going into March 17th, You're also seeing a huge groundswell in a number of endorsements in Ohio and Florida. So the mayor's going to remain competitive for quite some time.
Jen, I know you're not expecting necessarily to win South Carolina. I think you're right. Joe Biden has a long history there. There's a level of comfort and a level of establishment support there that's going to be difficult for any candidate to overcome. Doesn't Mayor Pete, though, have to show that he can perform well in a diverse state at some point?
Yeah, and he performed really well in Nevada. Now, I think that there were very, very low expectations for the mayor there.
I think he got 2% with the black vote in Nevada, though.
But he came in third in an extremely diverse state. He had Latino support in Nevada. Now going into South Carolina, I think you're going to see that increase. And the last poll that I saw, he has well into the double-digit support in the Black community in Virginia. So the more time that the mayor has to introduce himself to the community, the higher his numbers get. So I think that that's a trend that you're going to see happen throughout the rest of this race.
Last question for you, Jen. So the mayor talked about how he had, I think, 2,000 donors in South Carolina or Charleston or something like that. We looked at Ryan Grimm, Intercept journalist, took a look at the FEC data, and he hadn't seen that number. Is that small dollar donors, or is the campaign going to put out something about that?
Yeah, I think that includes small dollar donors, and okay. I'm sure the campaign's going to put something out about that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll keep our eyes peeled. Thank you, Jen. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jen.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Coming up, South Carolina primary predictions with friend of the show, Young Turks' Jen Kuger, when Rising continues.